Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the 80-60 rule. I'm Mark and I'm 60.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Greg and I'm 80. How are you? How is everybody? I don't know about you. Oh, this is right here, but I'm exhausted with the Bears game, Bills game. Whoa.
Yeah.
Some exciting football, isn't it?
Yeah. I would say that Bills Vikings game was one of the cooler things I've seen in a long time. There was, that fumble it's like all they had to do was this one little thing, and then there's a fumble, and then it goes to overtime and all that stuff. That was great. You're right. It's been some great football going on.
It's so entertaining, so therapeutic for everybody.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how about if we get started, Mark? Huh?
Yeah, that's good, sir.
Let's talk about something that was pleasant this week, the election. One thing, no, let's have we have too much emphasis on polls. Every hour somebody's got a poll. Everybody's looking at polls. There's only one poll that matters: election day.
Right. Right.
Um,
Yeah.
um, it was so nice that democracy's won.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Issues matter, and just as important of issues, more important, character matter.
Right.
Some of the candidates do not have the character to call themselves a United States senator or congressman or congresswoman. I don't think. I don't think they have an appreciation for our democracy. When you're still a denier, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to let it go at that, but
No, you have those are great points. Something's wrong, and it looks pretty much like the voters said we don't like what you're doing and we don't appreciate what you're doing. Not in all cases, but for the most part.
the voters got it.
Yeah, that's
They
what I
got it
mean.
right.
Yeah,
The people that lost, got to get it together. Got to get it together because it's just to tell you. I'll say this now. Let me just say this now. Uh, there's been a comment about the Biden administration. I'm not back to saying the Biden. They're going to run 87,000 IRS agents, right? 87,000
right.
from
It was
the bill.
Yeah, it was
The
part
law
of the
pro-
bill. Part
the
of the
law
bill.
provides the IRS with nearly 80 billion funding, including 45.6 billion for enforcement activities. But to suggest that this would amount to 87 additional tax collectors scrutinize the financial fund is simply wrong. How do they get that?
Who
See,
says that? Where were you reading that from?
the New York Times actually in Monday, November 7th.
So there's
Where here's one congresswoman, when House Republicans earn the majority, we will stop Biden's army of 87,000 IRS agents hired to audit hardworking American families and small businesses. That's wrong.
right, right.
And I don't know. I question. You can say whatever you want, but it can't be where you're not. It's not the truth. You
Right,
know,
right.
not right.
Uh,
And people,
simple-minded people fall for lies. It's just I don't mean dumb people. I don't mean anything. I just mean simple-minded people fall for lies. And some people have figured out that we can trick them by simply telling lies. The truth doesn't matter. So I know I could think of a better description
you
than
trick them by
simple-minded.
repetition.
Right, right. By
Yeah.
just by spreading the word or spreading the lie, I guess I should say, about what you just said. And if you don't mind, I just want to go back to, so there was what you just read, that there was that much money in the bill for the IRS, but then some strategist did the math and said if we divide that by the average salary of an agent, this is how many agents they could add. Is that And then
I
they
have no
took that,
idea how they came up with that.
but
You know?
I think that's what they did, and then they just spewed that out, that
Yeah,
lie,
yeah, yeah.
as opposed to that's not how money is spent or expenditures are expended. Um, you know,
Yeah. It's,
so yeah, the truth matters.
truth matters.
Oh,
Truth matters.
oh. And it's who said that? There's something who said the arc of truth or the arc of a I don't know, the arc of a conspiracy. I don't know.
I mean,
Something.
this was something you had a person in Pennsylvania who lives in New Jersey. And he was going to move. He was moving to Pennsylvania. That would have been unheard of years ago.
Right.
Have somebody to
Oh, you're
even
talking about
think
the
about it.
candidate. You're talking
Yeah,
about
candidate. Yeah,
yeah,
candidate.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oz. Yeah,
The
okay.
Wizard of Oz.
Right,
You
right.
know, and
Yeah. You're right. That
well,
would have been unheard of. That threshold has been erased a long time ago, you know.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
and people knew issues. They didn't know issues,
right.
I
Right.
think, and you
It's
wonder,
basically the branding of controversies, um meaning like we're gonna, you know, the like the 87,000 thing that you just talked about. That was a concerted effort to spread that and repeat it so then people believed it. That people didn't always fall for that in the past. It seems like people really fall for it because of social media and how fast
yes,
they get.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
social media is the engine,
Right,
right?
right.
I never thought of it. That's a good word, on that.
It's
Engine.
it's a social media and the internet is like a search engine. I think
Yeah.
we're the first people who have ever, well, you're the first who have ever uh mentioned that. All right.
Maybe you're giving me some space, huh? Um,
No.
let's go again. A good election. What it was, nobody talked about this, and I'm so happy because we shouldn't talk about it. There was no violence. There
Right.
was no nothing like that.
Wow. That's
Everything
a
was peaceful,
I
right?
yeah. I yeah,
Right?
there was intimidation, but there was no violence. And great point by you. If I had my toupee on, I'd take off the tip of my toupee to you. That's a great point. So once again, democracy wins out in terms of like there was no violence this next time around, like was threatened before.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
and the workers,
I made a special point of saying thank you when I was in and out of there.
yeah, me
Uh,
too.
yeah. And you know, almost so much so where I think they were going like, all right, we get it. You're thankful. Get out of here. You know, it seemed
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
so
Because I think they've gotten over the years. Oh, they're there. There's something to do, but they serve a purpose.
oh,
Got the
absolutely.
health.
Absolutely. It's you know, thank goodness somebody takes it seriously, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I just wanted to do that because it was like I was surprised at the election.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret here. I
You're
did
telling
a
everybody here. You're telling
yeah, okay. Let me just when you mentioned the polls at the beginning of what you started talking about, all these polls, different
yeah,
polls.
yeah, yeah.
I was, you know, pretty frustrated with that. And right, you know, the day or two before Tuesday, so like last weekend, a week ago, I did like a news blackout, like a self-imposed news blackout, just because I was so tired of all these polls, because it was just you know, like a tennis match going back and forth. Well, this one says this one says this, and it went okay. There, these networks are really, you know, using that formula of making me, you know, they're trying to create some controversy so we watch more. It had the opposite effect on me. I tuned it out until today. So, you know, basically a week after the election, I didn't watch any news because I was so aggravated by the manipulation of the viewer of the voter.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You're
so
not new. You're not alone. I
right.
have many of my friends said I've stopped watching this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go back now and start kind of tuning in and discern and, you know, just kind of like make my own decisions. But it just seemed like leading up to the election, it was just really turned up a notch as far as like playing with the voter and you know, basically the public out there. So I'll go back. I'll start watching some stuff like I always do, but I just had to turn it off. Even social media, Twitter, anything, I turned everything off. So
I
I'm
get
back, though.
tell you with polls, I found I've watched some shows and I've seen where the uh, the TV people have gone out on the road, which to me, I think you're lazy when you keep saying a poll, a poll, a poll. That means you're not doing your own homework.
Yeah, right, right.
You go out and see what people think.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
we just mentioned social media. If you know any sort of company in the world can run a poll, post it on social media, and people don't sit there and go, "Okay, is this legit?" And that's kind of what's being done. Where then it's just
Yeah, yeah,
reported.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Reported. We don't know any of the criteria. We don't know if it was we don't know anything. So
uh,
each one kind of carries weight when that's not how it works. Some of them should carry weight, and others should be ignored totally.
yeah. I mean, they had the governor of Georgia saying, and he said about the economy, he's like, uh, the media is asking these questions, but the people want these answers, not the questions that they
Right.
media is asking. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
excellent, excellent. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Let's get going. Let's talk about passion of mine, sports, Major League
Okay.
Baseball. Um, some things I'd like to share with you. Paul Sullivan is with the Chicago Tribune. He's an excellent. Trying to find I have all my notes in front of me. Hold on, just
It's the
and can't
windy
believe
in
it.
your
Huh?
windy in your studio.
I'm so
Blowing all
organized. I can't find what I'm talking about. Here it is. Here it is.
okay. All right.
Gang, what do you think? Paul Sullivan said in the Tribune, I'm interested in baseball, like where it's going. Okay. Um, and they said, he says, in the future, baseball could be a niche sport, perhaps being overtaken by the National Pickleball League a few decades from down the road. And one of the things he says, let's take them one at a time. He says there's no more marquee pitcher. Uh, there's no like a brand name starting pitchers like a Jim Bunning or a Curry Wood or Bob Gibson. Um, uh, well, what's your point of that? I think
I think Paul. I think that mindset and that expression is shows a guy who's probably 65, 70 years old, who doesn't get that for some reason, even though he's been covering the sport for a long time, doesn't get that that's how things go. All right. Things evolve. They've determined that if the pitchers are gonna throw as hard as they are now, then they can't go 300 innings a year. So they're going to take them out after six. And they're going to bring in three more guys who can throw 100 miles an hour because they're trying to win the game. If that bothers Paul Sullivan because the pitcher's not going longer like he used to, like a Fergie Jenkins, then, did it bother Paul Sullivan when, hockey players started wearing helmets or football players started wearing helmets? Did things evolve?
yeah
We can't, it's not going to stay the same. The sport evolves so that you don't diminish. I mean, he's talking about what about Kershaw? What about Verlander? What about, all these young guys, Strider in Atlanta? What about Ohtani? Those are, I mean, the Astros, guy after guy that they put out was amazing. So Paul Sullivan's holding on to his baseball card past, not thinking about the present. There's some really talented baseball players. Just because they're not going 9 innings like Paul remembers it is not their fault. It's just
yeah
the evolution of the game.
yeah. I see your point. I agree. It was nice to see a good pitcher, But, if this is a better way, and they win this way, you go with what's going to take you to the World
Right.
Series.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the evolution of the sport. You know, they used to play with no gloves. Now they got gloves. Does that bother
Now,
them?
about the only thing that could change that, Paul Sullivan's view, if people don't show up,
Yeah.
spectators don't show,
Yeah.
and they don't like that.
Well, that's been the negative thing about all these pitchers being used is that all those pitching changes take time. So, a 2-hour game, back, 50 years ago is now a 3-hour and 15-minute game
Right, right,
because of
right.
all those pitching changes. So I get that, but it seems like the sport is really trying to, on the one hand, they have to um, accept that fact. On the other hand, they're going to work on the other side of it to speed things up. Guys in the batter's box, they're just going to do all sorts of little things to speed it up because teams are going to use a lot of pitchers because they throw so hard now. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about baseball's future. It was so exciting this year, you know, right? Wasn't it?
Races, yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like really cool. So I'd say Paul Sullivan needs to accept the fact that things are changing and he's
Now, let
getting.
me say the other point he says, um, what does he say? Managers used to be have become interested with hubcaps, other than like Dusty Baker or Tony Francona. There's no one left like a Billy Martin or a Whitey Herzog.
What does he mean by that? I don't get that.
There's no personalities.
Oh, yeah.
And off the top, like Dave Roberts, personality or
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I think it's just because it's all about winning. It's so
yeah.
competitive now. You know, there's a lot of talented managers in minor league ball and, college ball that are just waiting to move up the ladder. So it's just,
I saw an appreciation of managers, the old timers, like a Bucky, Buck Showalter or the
Yeah.
Phillies.
Charlie Manuel, remember him?
Yeah, yeah. And so the old school, they haven't gotten the publicity. They thought like a publicity to be a manager because he's not high profile. So they've been shutting it aside. But now this year they really came in. The manager of Atlanta. How many years was he in the minor leagues all the time?
Right. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. The current Phillies manager. Yeah.
Yeah, the
right.
current Phillies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Manager
exactly.
of Atlanta.
Well, here's the thing.
The manager of San Diego.
As far as no Billy Martins and no like Lou Pinellas and guys like that, it's managers used to not make that much money.
Right.
Back in Billy Martin's time. It was
Yeah.
a lot of money, but it wasn't a lot of money like
Yeah.
now. Now, when you get one of those gigs, you don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
You don't want to screw anything up. So you get a little bit tight around the edges, which is not great for the sports writers because now you're going to play everything close to. That's because you are never going to make as much money doing anything else than right now managing this team, whoever it is.
Right, right.
It's because it's big time contracts now for managers because it's so competitive.
And
so
it's interesting.
Therefore, the sound bites go away.
Another point, and this is interesting to me. They say the managers are like go Bland or go home. And they said and no one is willing to pay something to make you think or laugh. Simply look at the game from a different perspective. And they say the players are not. It's interesting in baseball and other things like I would say the NBA. Who runs the NBA? I think the players do.
Yeah, right. Because they can the superstars can decide who coaches their team. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in baseball, no. So it depends on the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great point.
It's like yeah. I think it's interesting because you always got to look at. I always like to think of how can you make a product better.
Yeah.
And I like give me 6 good innings, and then I got three other guys who can be a part of a team and bring it in. Give me one good inning.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you gotta. But still, I was afraid. Okay, a guy comes in cold, and the first pitch he hits somebody. Here goes 1 run. So
Yeah, it's more frustrating than anything because relievers are, really, and also just the evolution of pitching. Now they actually teach that ball in the dirt. That that that's one of your pitches is to throw it in the dirt and get that wild swing from
yeah,
the hitter because of the change of pace on the ball. But and so it gets so frustrating because then you got pass balls, you got wild pitches, you got all this stuff going on.
that
So,
bothered me this year because I thought that was the quality of the game has been cheated.
right. Yeah.
You
Yeah, I'm kind
know?
of fuzzy on that one. It's like, but if the hitters are going to swing for it, then teach it. That's basically what it is. That's how it came about. So anyway,
Did
so
you
I
see
hope
many brushback
I
pitchers?
get. Do we see any more?
Did you see any more? A lot of brushback pitches this year
No, I think it's almost gone entirely. Um,
because of the union, the friendliness of the players.
yeah, probably right, right, and also maybe they're just yeah,
You hit
friendliness
them,
of the
and they're going to
players
hit me.
because
Right?
now they celebrate, they hot dog everything. Every home run is like thank you to
Yeah, yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
and even though you're like losing 8-2 and you hit a home run and it's like and you do a little dance and a little thing around third base. So the pitchers don't react to that anymore. It's part of the game. So therefore, there's not any brushback pitches because it's like, hey, whatever, we don't. That's when they used to brush back when somebody was like showing you up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
And it's interesting. I would get mad like years ago. Like I would want my team my opponent to pitch a no hitter on my team. I would feel that's a
right,
on.
right,
Oh,
right. You
I
would have
would
been the
bunt.
guy.
I would bunt.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say you would be the guy bunting on the
Yeah,
third base line there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Let me see. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL.
Sure. I was
And
too passionate about that baseball thing, so let's move on to something more relaxing.
okay, all right. Uh, NFL. Today there was a game in Germany. I read reports of Germany. There's going to be more games in Germany, maybe other towns. Mexico. Where do you see the NFL going? All over the world?
Yeah, I
Do you
think
ever see
so.
a world football league, a world Super Bowl?
No,
The
I
Super
think
Bowl would always be here, right?
well, I think it would be just what they're doing right now, because it's not about necessarily like the competition of like including everybody in this big competition. It's more about revenue. They generate a lot of revenue, right? Munich was like crazy for the NFL, right?
Right.
And then also it's a nice little way with the time zone change to feed another game into everybody's football weekend. I'm in the central time zone, so an 8:30 football game on a Sunday morning. What's better than that? I mean, seriously, that's like
15 hours of football, right?
yeah, right. So with those foreign games with the time zone, the revenue generated from by being able to telecast another game like that, and then also the revenue generated on the other side, in the town of Munich and everything. No, it's going to go
I thought of this
straight, is
before.
what I mean.
I thought of this. This last Thursday, they had Atlanta against Carolina. To me, I felt that maybe the NFL should have pulled that game. And they can't do that because that wasn't an attraction.
Yeah, yeah,
They get stuck.
that's just the luck of the
But they have that where they could pull it towards the end of the season.
for the playoffs. Like,
Yeah,
who's gonna get the late game so more people see it,
yeah,
right? Right.
yeah, yeah.
Instead of the regional game, as far as our telecast, they're gonna switch it to the late game, so it runs into.
They're doing that with some teams. I can't remember it now.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, yeah, they do that, but they don't do it. That's interesting. I don't know if there's any way around that because it's just, who knows who's going to be the duds of the season. I mean, you kind of know, but sometimes you're surprised. So
Yeah. How about the game, the Bears game today, huh?
yeah, we'll fill in well, let's talk about it.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Justin Fields.
Yeah, he's amazing. And you look at him, I said, well, I want to tackle him. He looks hard to tackle.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would take me the whole downfield,
Yeah.
But I look at him too, if he's hurt, they're done. The Bears, they're not a he's the star.
Yeah, well, and it's like
He's
that
the
with
engine.
most NFL teams, where if the quarterback, the
Pardon
starting
me?
quarterback, it's like that with most NFL teams, where if the starting quarterback goes down, there goes your season. However, you are right with the Bears. There's nobody else after him. Maybe Montgomery, right? But
Wasn't hearing you, Mark.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I do.
All right, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's okay. It was just a Wi-Fi.
So it was interesting. And the other game was exciting. You got to have those players. They play their hearts out.
Yeah.
They play their hearts out.
Yeah, that was some
Like
great.
some of them are. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, and the Munich game wasn't bad.
No, I didn't watch that game.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, meaning like it'd be a shame if they did all that and it was a dud. It was 27-3.
Yeah.
That would be a shame, especially for when you're trying to promote the excitement of a NFL game over in another country. But anyway,
I wonder how they select them, like to go.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Probably by revenue merchandise, like who's selling what. All those labels and brands are, all the logos and everything. They're tracked as to what jerseys are sold. So it's probably a little bit of that, like who's a popular team at the moment. I mean, Brady was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Let's go over something that's exciting for Chicago. In my opinion, I love the city of Chicago. NASCAR, Chicago launches for a July 4th street race. That's going to be so.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
Oh,
Tickets
cool.
start at $269.
Oh, wow.
They're going to have temporary suites overlooking Grant Park.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have they like published an overhead?
I don't know. They I just saw the article
that would be cool. I mean, they don't have many options, right? Because it's the lake on one side, so it's got to be Lakeshore Drive, and that's going to be beautiful. Actually, that'll be really cool. Yeah, and then
they began selling 2-day reserve tickets starting at $465.
Oh, okay.
2-day general admission tickets start at $269.
Not cool enough for me to go. I mean, I want to watch it on TV. I don't want to go, but is it? Think about that. So they have to do some what do you call that? Infrastructure.
I wonder how it's going to be done.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. Almost like.
Or do you start from Hyde Park all the way down?
Right. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Hyde Park all the way to Loyola.
Yeah, but NASCAR is an oval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they'll do it the Chicago way. Things happen the Chicago way.
Right. Yeah. It'll be that's an oval. What are you talking about? It's
a Chicago ways in many ways, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, all right.
Remind me, because of my told me a joke, and I said, "How when people tell the truth?" He said, "Listen, I'm trying to find. If somebody tells you to get the job, which 2 + 2?" I hope I don't screw this up. And the answer is wherever you want it to be, 2 + 2, you got the job.
Oh, whatever you want it to be. What's 2 + 2? Whatever you want it to be. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I got it. Whatever you say, boss.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we gotta go. Very cool. Very cool. Nice talking to you.
It's interesting. I'm so elated again about the election.
Yeah.
That democracy works.
Right. Right.
Democracy issue. Character counts.
Character counts. Right. Quality counts.
Yes.
All right.
All right, Mark.
On that
Thank
note,
you, everyone. Thank you, Thank you for
Yeah.
listening. We appreciate
thanks
it.
everybody. Please subscribe. We'll see you
Bye.
next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.